on the pitch then, in the short term, we're 1 year away from the European Championships. I think it's fair to say England have got a cracking chance of doing well. How does Adrian Clarke then see England shaping up? England's strongest 11. If I was to throw mine out there, I love the idea of Rice and Bellingham being the two in midfield, Saka from the right, Foden from the left. Obviously, Kane is the 9, and I absolutely, and I've said this for a while now, I want James Maddison playing off Harry Kane. I think given his form for Leicester back end of the season, coming to Tottenham looked $1 million. I certainly think, Clarkey, against the weaker opposition, you don't need a Phillips or a Mount or a Henderson with Rice and Bellingham. I think them two are fine. How do you see the makeup of this England team moving forward? Yeah,
I do agree with you. I think that Rice and Bellingham are just two of the world's best in their position. It's as simple as that. Declan Rice is outstanding, and as is Jude Bellingham. He's tearing it up at Real Madrid. And when you consider how young he is, it's just crazy. That midfield unit is special. Slightly worried about what's coming behind. I don't think we're producing that many great young central midfielders, but we've got two young guys that should be there for the long term. Going forward, I mean, you've just rattled off a few names there. They're all tremendous, aren't they? You left off Jack Grealish. You left off Marcus Rashford. Eze, who's come into the fore as well, is an exciting player.
Sterling, who hasn't been in the squad, and he had a really good start to the season with Chelsea.
Exactly. So I think we're supremely well stocked going forward. Outside of Harry Kane, there's a slight issue there, isn't there? I think obviously you've got guys like Callum Wilson and Eddie Nketiah that are in this squad that are fine. They're good players, but are they world class like Harry Kane? Of course they're not. So I think that the search for the next Harry Kane is something that we might need to look at moving forwards. The only way we don't win the Euros or don't go far in the Euros is because of the defence and maybe the manager. I think those are the two negative factors. Southgate's tactics in the games that matter, in the moments that matter,
haven't been good enough, have they?
Haven't been good enough, and I do worry about us at the back. You look at the names on the list, and there's a lot of players there that are maybe fortunate to be there. Harry Maguire keeps getting picked. Mark Gurhey, is he of that level? Tomori's had a tough time of late over in Serie A. Levi Colwill is a very good prospect.
Hasn't played too much football.
Hasn't played a lot of football. Lewis Dunk.
I like Dunk.
I'm a big fan of Lewis Dunk. I think his distribution's fantastic.
Can I throw a name at you then? Where's Ben White?
Good question. I mean, he should be in there. On
This
ability.
This must be surely, I'm speculating here, I should say, but I don't believe that he hasn't been included for footballing reasons. Because I'm sorry, there's no way he doesn't get. I know he's been playing a lot at right back for Arsenal, certainly last season when you guys were challenging for the league. But you rattled off there 3 or 4 centre backs. They can't be ahead of White in the peg. It seems a weird situation.
Ben White, there's an argument to say that Ben White should be the first choice right back, but I would say that Trippier and Walker. No, but Trippier and Walker are good players. So I think he's in the conversation.
Is he better than James and Trent? I know the
reason I say this is because Ben White's relationship with Bukayo Saka is unbelievable. The chemistry between those two players is frighteningly good. The combination play last season was outstanding, and I think that should put him in the conversation to be there for England, but he's not. And at centre half, which is his another position that he can excel in, at centre half he's better than 3 or 4 of the names in this squad. So, it can only be a personal issue. I don't know what happened at the World Cup finals. Some kind of bust-up, I'm assuming, either with a coach or a teammate. And that's the only explanation I can find that for him not being there.
One man in the squad, Arsenal's Bukayo Saka, had an amazing couple of seasons, and he's been speaking with talkSPORT's Faker Others about the brilliant start to the season.
The season started well, to be fair. Yeah, we're still in a good place as a club, progressing each game, and obviously now I'm here on international duty, so focus on the 2 games that we have coming up.
Exciting 2 games as well. What do you want to achieve with England?
Just want to win everything with England. I think it's just pretty much that simple.
And is this the right team that can go and do that? Obviously it starts with the Euros next year, and there's only 4 camps to go till that starts.
Yeah, it's pretty quick. It's literally next summer. So we're training. We've got loads of games ahead to keep learning, keep growing as a team, and increase our confidence going into the tournament.
There is a question I've got to ask you that I know you're all going to get asked, and is a difficult one to answer. But with everything going on with Jordan Henderson at the moment and all the noise surrounding his move out to Saudi Arabia, what have you made of it all?
I don't know. I haven't really seen too much noise. Obviously, I seen him. He made the move. a while ago, and obviously it's his decision. He's his own man, and yeah, we all just have to respect his decision.
How hard is that as a footballer when you see the scrutiny of moves that you make that will upset people invariably?
I think, as a footballer, I think anything you do, there's always going to be someone who has an opinion that's against yours. But yeah, he's an experienced man. He's had a wonderful career, so I think we have to give him that respect in whatever decision he makes. Just wish him all the best, and yeah, just respect him.
Is he at a point now, Saka, where I guess alongside Kane, Bellingham and Rice, is he in that sort of bracket now where he's obviously a guaranteed starter, but getting to a point now where he's one of England's, or if not, perhaps England's most important player?
Well, he was England's best player over the course of the year. He's just won the Player of the Year award. Voted by the supporters. So congratulations to Bukayo for that, and I think it's well deserved. Think of some of the goals that he scored over the last 12 months for England. Just brilliant. I think he's got 11 goals now for his country. He's still so young. He's arguably the best player in his position around, isn't he? I think Vinicius is a special wide player at Real Madrid, but I would say that Bukayo Saka's now of a level where he can be talked about in the same conversation as a Vinicius Junior. He is that good. He's really special, delivers end product week in, week out, and England he's one of the first names on the team sheet. I think you're right. Rice, Bellingham, Kane and Saka, build the team around those guys. That's the way forward.
And I mean, I don't know if you've met him a lot or spent a lot of time with him, but he seems like the sort of guy that's so level-headed.
Yeah.
He's had an amazing couple of years, right? Started for Arsenal, started for England, but he seems like the sort of guy that's so level-headed and he keep his feet on the ground. He never seems to be injured, touch wood.
Wow.
Never seems
he gets
to be
kicked
injured.
a lot.
But he's always up, got a smile on his face. Seems like the sort of guy that great fun to. Like if he was here right now, we'd go for a beer after the show and we'd have a great time.
He wouldn't have a beer though, would he?
No,
he'd have a soft drink for sure.
Jack Grealish should have his beer and Saka be on the orange juice, and he'd have a great time, wouldn't he?
No, I don't know him very well, no. But everyone that I know who does, get to know him a bit better, they love him. He's humble, he's grounded, no ego there really at all. And he's just incredibly popular. And long may that continue. He's a perfect role model, isn't he, for kids that, that are aspiring, I think, to be a professional footballer. Just look at the way he conducts himself. He's also a smart boy. Yeah, I think he did qualifications. He took his GCSEs seriously. I think he might have done A-levels as well. He's clearly an intelligent lad. And, it kind of makes you sick, really, because Saka, he's good at everything. He's good at everything. And he's just one of the nicest guys in football as well. So I've got to say that about this England side as well. I think there are a lot of good eggs in there.
The most likeable team in my lifetime.
Yeah, for sure.
By a long way.
And I love the fact that they're not bothered about the pressure from the media. They can handle it. They can. They've proven they can do it. They've gone to major tournaments and overperformed, if anything. So, Saka is special. And I think that one day he will be close to winning the Ballon d'Or.
Wow.
Yeah, at the moment, he's not quite at that level. Obviously, Haaland and Mbappe, they're the...
If he can get to that level.
I think he's capable of getting to that level in the next 2 or 3 years.
Is that with Arsenal?
Of course it's with Arsenal, yeah. I think that Arsenal are back. Arsenal are one of the premier teams in European football this season. You look at the odds for the Champions League. I don't think Arsenal are going to win the Champions League, but they're a team that can get to the latter stages of it for sure, and he is Arsenal's best player. So, look, the future for Bukayo Saka is incredibly bright, and I can't wait to see what happens next, but I don't see any reason why he won't stay at Arsenal long term. Another
Arsenal player in England team, Adrian Clarke, his first England senior call-up. He's also been speaking with talkSPORT's Faker Others.
Obviously, I'm still young. Obviously, everyone's journey is different. So I think that's the thing of these day and age. I think everyone needs to kind of just focus on their own story and their own journey and not look at anyone else's. I think our career paths have been totally different. We've had different opportunities at different times. So like I said, I've always been someone that trusts in good timing and trusts in myself and believe in the process that it's step by step, and it might not always happen exactly when you want it, but if you keep putting in the work and doing the right things, it'll come. And I believe it's all in good timing, and when it's your time, it'll be your time.
I know how much confidence you have in yourself, but you said that you can improve. What is it you think you can improve on to get the consistency that you want at club and then to make sure you get called up regularly?
Yeah, I think it's just in everything, every department of a striker. I think it's a position which comes with age, and I think obviously one that through experience you learn and you get better. You learn the moments, how to participate, how to do what in certain scenarios and against different teams. So I think with time and obviously getting more experience and more game time at club football and getting that confidence and more goals, obviously will naturally boost you obviously into the good position. So I think with that and obviously with age, I'll improve and continue to take those steps.
Have you got a list of questions for Harry Kane when you do get to pull him aside?
I might have a few notes in my phone, so let's see. Obviously, like I said, it's just good to be here. Not just Harry. There's loads of great attacking players. So naturally, just being able to be around them and obviously see what they do and what little things I do differently and where I can kind of steal a few things will obviously be nice to experience.
You mentioned earlier, Clarkey, about one problem England could have, maybe not in the near future, but certainly sooner perhaps maybe than we think, is that sort of next number 9 away from Harry Kane. It felt like sort of Calvert-Lewin was the number 2 for a while, and then he can't stay fit at the moment. It looks like Ivan Toney, in terms of the amount of goals being scored, could also have filled that berth perhaps with Calvert-Lewin being injured, but we know he obviously isn't available for the next couple of months. In terms of the options England have got with Nketiah, Wilson, quite a few shots for Ollie Watkins, who isn't in this squad. Where do you sort of see the pecking order? Is Nketiah rightly in this squad, do you think?
I think his form's been very good this season. It's obviously been among the goals. And, based on form, you can find a reason to put him in the squad. I think that, is he as good as Ollie Watkins in the here and now? I'm not sure. I think that Ollie Watkins is probably a little bit further down the line, so I'm surprised he's not in the squad. Callum Wilson's not in the team at Newcastle, so that's obviously paved the way for a gap there. He's not nailed on to be the guy that steps in for Kane. So, it's a stylistic thing as well. I think that Eddie can play a little bit like Kane. He can look after the ball, he can hold it really nicely, he can drop into those pockets like Harry does. So that might be something to do with his selection here. He's 24, he's not a kid. I think that there is a ceiling with Eddie, and I'm not sure how far off that ceiling he is, if I'm honest. But he's a good Premier League player. I don't see him as someone personally that's going to win 30 or 40 England caps. I just don't see that.
I mean, I don't think this is going to happen because it feels like perhaps Southgate hasn't got this in his locker, but we can't think of a number 2, can we? If there was, heavens forbid, to be an injury for Harry Kane, I mean, could there be an option that Foden can play as a false 9, Sterling, I'm thinking a bit more left field here, could Rashford go through the middle, could that also, I'm thinking out loud here, but are these other options rather than going through the players we just mentioned?
Look, if Kane was ruled out of the Euros, I think I would probably go with Watkins or Wilson.
I like Watkins.
But I wouldn't put Rashford there. We've seen how
he's better on the left.
He's
isn't
miles
he?
better on the left.
I'm just throwing suggestions out there, Clarkey.
Yeah, but they're silly suggestions, aren't they? Now look, Foden in a Man City
Evan Ferguson?
He's Irish.
Well, you never know.
No, you do know.
Jeremy was getting worried yesterday.
No, I think my understanding is that he's played
enough games.
Too many games now.
A shame.
Oh, look, if we could steal Evan Ferguson,
we'd win everything, wouldn't
like
we?
We stole Declan Rice
and Jack
Grealish. Then I'd be all for it, because Evan Ferguson, he is the next Harry Kane. He is going to score hundreds of goals in the Premier League. He's going to be a sensational player, but he's not going to play for England. He is Irish, unfortunately.
I bet he's gutted, isn't he?
It's a real joker.
Yeah, I know. I bet he's fuming, isn't he?